Hello student family. Welcome back from Suarez basement. I'm having here my coffee to keep me going. I'm ready to go. I appreciate your company from Suarez basement. It's a video podcast created especially for those students in the communication, media, and the arts. And like I always say, if you really want to learn from the experts, this is the place to be. I'm talking about expert. Our guest today is top of the line. Pedro Damian is here waiting for us to have a conversation. Students, if this is the first time you hear this name, Pedro Damian, I recommend to you to go to Google, do your research, and you will understand the quality and the impressive resume that our guest has. Pedro Damian is behind some of the most popular and successful soap operas in Latin America, Telenovelas. He's an executive producer in Televisa. He's an author, he's an actor, and he's one of the most humble and beautiful human beings that I have the chance to meet. And I'm very excited that he's here with us today. So get ready, students, to take your notes. Be sure that you take notes so you take that learning process from Pedro. And I welcome everybody from Suarez Basement. How are you doing? How is your family? How is things in Mexico City right now?
Thank you. I think the things in Mexico City, talking about health, is, the pandemic is just moving fast, but at the same time, I think we made reasonable procedures to keep it small. We're still keeping this, in the big city, probably, or the big cities, the problem is getting bigger, but in another places, it's getting not so fast, you know. And I'm thinking that the problem of the pandemic, that is a globally problem, it helped us to be with ourselves and with our thoughts. And in the creative way, I think it's a great opportunity to create projects because the industry of the digital world is growing up. That's definitely.
I'm, of course, very curious to know, how is Televisa family doing in these times? Are production stops? What is the scenario?
It's difficult to stop the whole productions because we are on the air, and you know what's the air. The air is a monster that consumes everything so fast that you can't stop it. It's a factory. And Televisa is doing now, I think, running three shows. I'm preparing two of them for probably, I don't know if it's going to be this year or maybe the next year. I'm preparing two stories, but we can stop. And you know what's happening now with Netflix and all this? They're going up. They're going so up.
Of course.
The people are in the houses watching TV all the time, or the computer, or YouTube. Everything. No, now it's time for content.
Well, we talked about that the last time we saw each other, is the fact that, it's almost like we were already moving into this digital era and this,
Yes.
But this coronavirus literally almost like say, if you don't want to swim, I'm going to push you in the pool.
Definitely. And a lot of people that they were used it. They didn't know how to, the old people that they don't know how to use technology. Now they are using technology.
Yeah.
It's a resurgence. It's a movement that is creating this need to connect through the platforms, like you and me now. Right. I'm feel that I'm sitting in front of you. I can see your eyes straight. Look at the camera straight.
Yeah.
Look at and we can see each other the eyes, no?
Yeah.
You can look at me. Look at the eyes, and we look at the eyes, and we connected in this precisely moment. And a lot of grandparents doing with the kids, with the grandsons. I do with my grandsons. And now the connection is big. And I think, I'm sorry, I just want to point this thing. I think we need to use our energy in the few weeks or few months, I don't know, to create a space, an open space for people to be connected. Whoa, no difference. The pandemic has made us a global human beings to understand, to say thank you to everybody around us.
I think so, and that is a message that we want to definitely take from this video podcast. And again, I hope my students, when they see this video podcast, can have these profound moments of clarification and of what they really want to do. And you see, because the point is, I believe that all my students have the potential to be very successful. These are very creative individuals with amazing ideas. They just need to have this guidance to believe in themselves first and not
Oh yes,
and
oh yes,
in their talent. I'm always, of course, you have been behind some of the most successful telenovelas in Mexico,
yes,
in Latin America. I mean,
yes.
you start as an actor, which is interesting. I did my research. So you start in a soap opera called El Amor Tiene Cara de Mujer. Is that correct?
Woo!
Long time ago.
40 years ago, something like that. Yes,
Right.
I started as an actor, and I made some movies in the United States, and I made movies with a great directors and great actors. But now those memories, I don't live in memories. I think memories are just past, and past is already gone. And future, it doesn't happen yet. I think the best way to be is to be in present time. How do you do that? Breathe in, breathe out. Understand that every breath is the moment of your living. And that's the most important thing.
But I'm curious to know how did you switch from acting to become executive producer, or what was it that caught your attention?
I'm going to tell that to your students. I hope it gives you a message. When I start as an actor, it's because I saw my father. My father comes from Spain, and my father in the family reunions, he always make this poetry, Garcia Lorca and things like that. And I saw how the people make this, they receive the emotions and the sentiments, and they start crying, laughing, I mean, having a lot of emotion. I said, I want to produce that. I want to produce that. That was my ego working, but in a good sense. Then I start doing studies and things and moving, go to England, go to whatever, study children's education, theater for kids, things like that. And then I come back to Mexico and I open a new school in Televisa for kids. And from them they come Timbiriches, and they come later a lot of actors, very famous now. And then we create many things, no? And they asked me to direct a Chispita. Chispita was a soap novela with Lucero, and she was 30 years old, and they said, oh, we don't know how to talk to her about how to create a character or whatever. And they asked me, do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, why not? And then I was doing that for a long time. I made at least 20 telenovelas, very successful, a lot of them, with a lot of failures too, because life is win and loss, win and loss.
Yes.
It's like that. But, and then one of the main owners of the enterprise, Televisa, said, oh, you want to produce? Okay. I said, yes, why not? Okay, produce. Life opened the doors. I mean, you must have the goals in your mind, and it's better if you don't have it in your mind. Put it in a notebook. It's better to put it in the physical universe. You write them, and you said, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that." Or I'm doing that. Instead of future, you put it in present time. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. and suddenly the things happens. Maybe it takes long time, maybe it takes a lot of patience, maybe it takes whatever. But if you put it in the physical world, I think mind is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And life opens and closes some windows or doors. I mean, I'm not acting now. I mean, I do movies, I do a few things later on, but not professionally. But I'm doing another things. Maybe one of your students wants to be a director, the other wants to be a writer. Maybe it's going to be the other way around. But you must be clear and ready when the chances come to jump into the table to get the wave, the movement of the wave. And then you're going to be arriving to the beach or maybe into the ocean. It depends on you.
Right. And Pedro, do you think, because the basic of the story never changed in the sense that it doesn't matter how technology moves us in a different direction, a good storytelling is a good storytelling. From Shakespeare to, right? I mean, that's what it is. But do you think the telenovelas in general or the content that industries like Televisa, and Teleseca, Venevisión, you name it, have been creating for so long is going to be, I would not say dying, but it's going to be transforming in something else because
it's already transformed. I mean, Televisa now, I mean, from 2 years ago, more or less, 3 years ago, more or less, it's changing a lot. And we try to do some projects more like modern, contemporary, with more strong situations, but the people who watch Open TV are really old people. It's the people who has the time to sit in front of TV every day at 7 or at 6 or not. It's retired people, or probably people who doesn't have a job. Now the women are outside. The women are working, and not even in our Latin countries. And that makes big change. Now we start going to basics and producing stories very melodramatic to those audience. Because Televisa doesn't want to lose that audience. Because if we lose that audience, which audience is going to have?
Right.
None.
Right.
None. Because the young people are watching Netflix, Amazon, all this new download, whatever. And the new generation, they're watching YouTube.
Right. So, Pedro, if we could close our conversation with a message to my students that are watching, what would be the message that Pedro Damian want to tell to all these students in the communication, media, and the art field?
That's a good point. Thank you for giving me the chance to express myself, first of all. Thank you for being so kind with your interview, with your talk, with our conversation. And I think the most important for me as a human being is try to be happy. And happy whatever you do. And happy means, because we have the idea of happiness is different in each one. But for me, happiness is to have the clear mind and to eat when I'm hungry and sleep when I'm tired. The simple things in life, enjoy the simple things in life, and try to do your best job as you can. Believe in yourself and try to give good reasons to the people to watch your show.
Thank you so much, Pedro. I appreciate your time. I have to say, conversations with you, I can sit with you and have 4 cups of coffee and talk to you the whole afternoon. Unfortunately, this video podcast needs to be, condensed in a specific time, but I appreciate your friendship and your wisdom and everything that you have done for the industry which is a fascinating industry to me. I grew up always dreaming to be part of this, and now I have the chance to sell that dream to my students, which is fantastic.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Thank you. Well, take care and
Keep connected.
Yes,
The next time we have a mezcal together.
we will.